Hey guys, very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the video number 359. My name is Ajay and today we are actually going to connect the Outlook with the Excel, which is of course is not a new thing for us. If you are sticking to the channel, if you are a part of this channel, then you know that we have almost 25-26 videos on the Outlook and the Excel connection setup. But this is going to be a special video because I never talked about the Outlook calendars. So this video will educate us. If you have the calendar and you want to actually export those calendar items, your meetings, your appointment, you want to have look in the Excel how to export that. Well, as usual, this is not my idea, so I'm not gonna take credit for that. So I give the credit to my subscriber who actually written this 1 week ago. I'm so sorry. I actually have so many things to do, because a lot of you actually emails me and post your comments on the channel. So it's like, always I keep on answering your video, the questions, but it may take a time because it depends. I mean, how many basically the questions your queries I'm receiving. So Madhvi Srivastav actually had written this. Hi Ajay, first of all, thank you very much for providing us so powerful videos. Thank you so much and welcome to the channel. I have a question. I want my Outlook calendar data calls which we set up through Skype in Excel. How to fetch data in the Excel? I tried open and export options in Outlook but failed to fetch the calendar data. If you already shared any video related to my query, I would request you send the link. Okay, so anyways, so Madhvi, I never actually talked about the calendars because nobody asked me. You're the first one who asked me about the Outlook calendars. So today we're gonna make this Excel VBA code. I'm not sure how you were doing it manually. I think you can Google it. I never tried it, but yes, if you want to do it through the button, you can create the macro. There's no problem in doing that, right? So as I said, for those who are watching the channel for the first time, I just want to take your 15 seconds. You go to the channel, guys, and you can click on the playlist here. And once you click on the playlist, basically you would see all the different 43 playlists. You see here, we have so many playlists created here, for the Excel VBA Access and Access VBA. Right, for the 4 subjects we are covering, and then you just need to check out this 27 videos in this Excel VBA connecting Outlook from Excel. Every video is unique. Every video will tell you something new about Outlook, right? And most of the videos are like, kind of attempt to answer their queries. So pretty awesome series we have, and another feather in the cap today because this is the first time I'm gonna talk about the calendars, right? So before I talk about the Outlook, I just want to actually give a little bit idea about the Outlook. So because obviously we're going to connect the Outlook, the calendar, and we with the Excel VBA. So what we are actually trying to do here is first of all we're gonna actually go in the Outlook folder, right? The calendar folder actually of my Outlook, which is this folder. You can see here if I just hover my mouse over here, today is March 7th when I'm recording this video, and I have actually 2 things in the 2 meetings I have. One is the this you have nothing else scheduled today. So basically there was a pop-up coming. If you have seen that was for the today, which is now I think overdue. This is another one which is for tomorrow, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you can further go ahead and create some more appointments. So let's say I create new appointment and I'm gonna create it. Let's say I write some email ID, or maybe this email ID. Write my Gmail, which is e802@gmail.com. Okay, and the location I choose, let's say any room, and this is for the Tuesday, which is right, is Tuesday. Just write here that we need to discuss about manpower planning. Okay, let's say this is what exactly it's all about. So now you're gonna have this appointment and I'm gonna save this. Okay, so I just save and close. Okay, that's it. Now I go to my calendar and I click here, and this is what exactly you see that when I click here I have the 7th. I have 2 things to do. One is the things to do. This is the the first one you can see here, that which is 19 to 19:30. The time is already gone. So this is the location is day room, and it's on my reminder actually, because I was snoozing it. Okay, but that's fine. I mean, I want to see this, and the organizer is Ajay.Parmar 1981, which is me. So this is what is all about first, and this is the second one. Any room location is, which I've just created in front of you. This is another one. Basically this is the calendar, right? It doesn't matter, I'm just trying to make you familiar with this calendar, that how it basically works, right? So let me click back on my email. So we have 3 items, and I want to actually export those 3 items in the Excel. So this is the Excel in front of you guys. So what we're gonna do is so I will simply go ahead and first of all I click on the Visual Basic, and the first thing which you will do here is that you will set up the connection with the Outlook. And to do that, you got to go on the tools and the reference, because you will have to tell your Excel VBA that we are going to connect with the Outlook. We want to use the Outlook classes, because Outlook is together a different application. So depending upon your Office which you have installed, please mark this library. So I have 16, I have Office 16, so I'm using this 16.0. just make sure once you check mark that, you come back and you see that it is actually on. Right, now we will write the code. So I'm going to write here the code, which is Outlook calendar items export. Okay, so I want to see my all the items here. Okay, what is the first thing I would like to do? I would like to create the Outlook application as usual, which is demo as Outlook dot application, and then I'm going to declare this as new Outlook dot application. What's the next thing you want to do? Now if you remember, I have talked about some of the classes in the Outlook. Like the first object is your Outlook, and then there you have the mail item class, and then they have the namespace, and then of course there is a folder, there is an attachment, right? There are a lot of things, right? So we don't actually need the mail item class, because mail item class we use for the emails, and here we are not going to talk about the emails. We're going to talk about the namespace, because namespace actually we use to define the folders. So definitely I'm going to use this, because through this namespace I will be defining my folder, which this time it is going to be the calendar. Okay, that is what exactly it is going to be. And then of course you don't need the attachment, because we are not going to work on any Excel or CSV or text file which comes with your email. So the attachment and this mail item is not we are going to use. We are going to use this the calendar and the namespace class. Right? Another thing which I would like to use, because we are going to deal with the calendars, so let me just pause this maybe by 30 minutes. Let me just close this actually. Okay, so because you're going to deal with the appointments guys this time, so there's another class which we're going to use, that is called the appointment item. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my loop. I'm going to say that for each appointment item in my folder, which is the calendar, please export the items. What items do you need? That depends. You want the subject, you want the location, you want the whatever you have written in your calendar. So let us go ahead and let us start the code. So the very first thing which I will do here is I will define my namespace. I'm going to define my folder. Then so I write here on, let's say ONS as Outlook dot namespace, and set ONS equals to, this is how we define it, right? So we're going to create get namespace, and this is what you will write, message application, and I think that E stands for protocol interface. I don't exactly remember, but this basically MAPI is going to allow you to access to all the folders. Okay, so maybe you can search on the Google. It's not really that important, but you should know the the full form of this MAPI. I think it's message application, and then E stands for something I really don't remember. E is for the interface. So once you declare that, what is the next thing? Next thing, you want to tell your VBA that which folder you're gonna target in the Outlook. Now you have so many folders in the Outlook, right? For example, you have the inbox, you have the subfolders also, like this is the dummies, the subfolder which we have created under the inbox. Then you have the draft, then you have the sent item. There are a lot of things, right? So most of the videos which I had uploaded so far, they are always targeted on either on the subfolders or on the folder majorly inbox, but today we're going to deal with the calendar, right? So this is how you will write. So maybe I can write here ocal, let's say, or maybe you can write simply my folder, right? What a big deal. You can write here outlook.folder. Okay, we're going to define our folder, set my fol equals to, now your folder would come from ons, right? And then you're gonna write here the get the folder. So what is your basically so it's not get folder, I think it's basically ons called get default folder. Yeah, default folder. What is the folder? Now I'm gonna use this ol folder calendar, right? If we're not gonna use anything, we're not gonna generally, people use folder inbox, right? So this time we are not going to target on the inbox. We have a folder which is, you know, ol folder calendar. Now once you have created this, the next thing which you would like to do is you would like to create your appointment item to run the loop. So I'm going to write here my appointment. Let's say I just write it my pt as outlook dot appointment item. Let me just write this appointment item. So this is what we're going to do, right? So now let me just select this, and we're gonna run the loop. Now before you run the loop, you can also set up the, you know, Excel quickly over here. I mean, you can write here, so we have the subject, we have the start time, we have the end time, and the location, right? This is what exactly we want to do. So maybe you can create the array, or you can just write, you can you know, you can create here for example the subject, you can create here from and then, you know, till what time, and then you can write here the location actually, right? So this is how you can do it. Or you can also do one thing, just in case if you want to declare everything using the arrays, you know, you can write here in this way as well, from range d1. This I learned actually recently, guys. So you're gonna write here the d1. Okay, so in just one simple step, this is what you're gonna write, value equals to. I can create the arrays, and you can write here all the things. For example, I want to write here subject, and then you can write here the from, put it within the quotes, and then afterwards you can write till what, and then you can write here the location. Now put the location also in the double quotes. Okay, this is what exactly how it is going to look like. And I think this is array, right? So array is actually a VBA word, so you can write it like this. So when I'm gonna run this, this should come here by default, right? Anyways, that's something I just wanted to give you the additional information. It's really not so important, because we are going to actually, what the important point is how to export the item. So now guys, you're gonna run the loop, and the loop would would go in this way for each appointment, which is your apt, that's your object, for each appointment in your calendar, right? So what is your calendar? Now this keeps coming, this is irritating me a lot. I don't know, just let me this mustache, it's fine. Okay, so each my appointment in my calendar, right? So what is your calendar basically? So your calendar, actually your folder is this one, right? So my FO actually is your the folder which deals with this calendar. So you're gonna write here items, okay, and then next. There we go. So it reads, if you want to read it, this you should read it like this, that for every my appointment in my the folder which is my calendar, actually in that calendar, the number of items I have, I want to loop through each item one by one, right? So here in the row number 2, you're going to start with the row number 2. So I'm going to define this as 2 somewhere here. Maybe I can write the r, you just define the r here, comma r as long, and we're going to start with the r as 2. Okay, set the loop. So r is going to be the second row, and then we're going to write what? So your appointment, what is the first thing you need here? An appointment, well, you need the subject, so you write the subject, and then you're going to copy this. Let me paste it 4 times quickly, and we need to access the all the properties of this appointment one by one. So here we have the subject, and here what we're going to have is the time, basically the time, or I mean the start time. So this is what you write, the start, and then there is a dot end, okay, and the end is for the end time, and then you will have your dot location. Perfect. There are other properties as well, you can find it out, you can check out what else we can get out of this the calendar. Once your code will run, we will release all these items. So I'm going to write here set ONS equals to nothing, and I'm going to write here set O equals to nothing, just to release those objects from the memory, and I'm going to write here set my4 equals to nothing. Okay, and what else is required? Yeah, set my apt equals to nothing. Alright, I think we are done with this. Now I can go ahead and run this. So let me see if we are able to do that. So get this line is very important, you know, important in the sense it's a new learning. For me it was a new learning. I mean, you can directly write everything here. So we got all the subjects, guys. Now we're going to start with the rule number 2, and I forgot to increment the R as well, because every time the R you know is going to have this all the values published, we would like to go to the next. Oh, here we go, you got the first subject, congratulations. And then, oh, my mistake, actually I forgot to change the column number. It's gonna overwrite everything. Alright, so there we go, you have everything. And next, and then we're gonna have this, and there's a one more item, and there we go, enter. And of course, if I just autofit this, you can see that thing is coming neat and clean. So maybe I can run this again. You know, it worked very well, and so I can run this again, and let me hit on the F5. Here we go, guys. You see, this is what exactly I had created. This any room location, I just set it up in front of you. These were the two previous calendars items which I listed. So here you can see that everything is coming, and you can export this in the Excel. Right? Don't stop the video, because I also want to tell you one thing, because this is a early binding method. Okay, early binding method is a method, I talked about this in my previous videos also. You can go ahead and check out what is the difference between early binding and late binding. Now I made this code in the 2016. If I just let's say Madhvi, I send it this Excel to you, and you open this and you run this macro, and supposedly you are using the Excel 2013 or any lower version, you will get the error. So when you hit on this button, let's say if you create any button over here, your code will stop, and it will stop here, and it will say that type not defined. So what will happen when you go to the tool in the reference, you would see here missing Microsoft Outlook 16.0, because you are not using 16.0, you're using the lower version. So what you need to do, you got to first uncheck that, and you got to find, depending upon what exactly Office installation you have done, you will have to on your Outlook library. It can be 14.0, 15.0, that depends, right? So when you are going to check mark that, then we'll come back and run the code, and it will work. Okay? But if I make this code in the version which is lower version, and you are using the higher version, people out there, I'm addressing everybody who is watching this. If I made this program, let's say in Excel 2007, and you're using Excel 2010 or 13 or maybe 16, right, then you don't have to do anything, because from the low version to the higher version, this early binding works very well. But let's say you don't want to get into all that, right? Don't want to address your tell your educate your the other in person that they need to go this tool in the reference, and they need to activate that library, because they don't really are so much comfortable with the Excel. You can convert this entire early binding into a late binding. Okay, so when you're going to convert this early binding into late binding means that you basically don't create the objects. Don't tell the VBA that you got to deal with the output. You let the VBA decide. So what you will do, this is how the code would work. I just insert the new module. So first you have written this early binding code. So I'm quickly gonna here, and I'm gonna make this the late binding. So once you have made the code in the early binding, it would be very easy for all of us to change the code. So wherever you have written the this dim word, just declare everything as an object. So I'm going to simply delete this dim ONS. You just let the VBA create the object for you, right? So here also I'm going to do the same thing. It is very easy, it's not going to take much time. And then here also you're going to declare it as Control V, right? And I think rest remains as it is. Yes, this line would come as a create object. So you're going to write here create object. So VBA will create the object here. Now you will not have to on any library, because according to your version the Outlook application will be created. Okay, and similarly in this case you can't use this old folder calendar. You will have to use its index number, which is 9. You can Google it and you will be able to find it out. Right? So I've done everything. If I just run this just to show you, look at this. I just run this. I can show you this. Look at this. It says it is a calendar, right? And I think 6 is for the inbox. I had used it the previous one of my videos also. Somebody talked about the late binding method. So this method is gonna work the same way. Let me run this. There we go. You see that the information is there. If I just delete it now, I'm just going to off this library. Now you can create this. Now you can send this code. You don't have to on this Microsoft Outlook. This is called the binding. It will work irrespective of version you have. Doesn't matter you're going from higher to lower or lower to higher or the same version. Doesn't really matter. So I'm giving you all the choices, right? Now I'm gonna run this. Let's see if it will run or not. Yes, it is running, guys. All right, so that's it. I'm not gonna take much of your time. Just a one request to support the channel. Please do subscribe and spread the information, because I know that a lot of guys are there who doesn't know about this channel, and I think everybody needs help. Everybody needs to be an expert, because Excel, VBA, Access, they are the tools which everybody uses. So I hope I was able to answer your query and try it. And any questions you have, just post your queries on the comment section. And thank you so much for watching, guys.